So really nothing is going on inside of Destiny right now. However, that doesn't mean Bungie can't make poor decisions and the community can't get angry. Because oh boy, can we still do that. In this video, we're going to go over the two most recent Bungie fumbles, Bungie mess-ups, the things that we're crying about. And of those two things, I'd say they're pretty big. Both of them is going to affect all of us. One of them more so than the other, so let's get the big one out of the way, probably the one that you've heard about most recently. Double Special is getting nerfed, but in Bungie's words, it's actually getting fixed. So where's this coming from? Well, there is a Destiny podcast called Massive Breakdowns. I never really watched this podcast, but I believe the old host was Mercules, who is now actually employed with Bungie. He is a weapons designer on the team. I believe he left the podcast, but he comes back every now and then to give some information or have an employee interview, kind of a way to have Bungie talk to us. Anyways, I believe this is the last episode that he'll be on, but this is where we get this information. So specifically, where this all came from was a question regarding the prevalence of the double special meta, and whether or not it's intended or will be tuned down. And the immediate response was just straight up, it's not intended. Apparently, what causes more heavy to drop while you have a double special is a bug. A bug that was introduced when primary weapons no longer needed ammo. So that was back in 2021, in Season 15. That's when this bug was introduced. So here we are 2 years later, and it's finally going to get looked at. Now, granted, double special themselves, or that concept, isn't actually getting nerfed. It's more so the side effects of having near infinite heavy ammo that is getting dropped. I actually made a video on this in the past, and just to get the numbers, I went through an activity with double special and a heavy ammo finder versus just having a heavy ammo finder or one special weapon. You get so much more heavy drops. It's insane. And that's what's getting nerfed next season. So special ammo capacity, special ammo damage, none of that's getting changed. It's just what it does to your heavy slot. But now, as I said in the beginning of this video, they messed up. With this, there is some controversy, to be honest. A lot of people are saying this is really bad and it's Bungie. But then there's also people whom I agree with saying that this is probably a good thing in the long run for Destiny. Because in the end game, if you didn't rock double special, you were just putting yourself at a disadvantage. Having infinite heavy is a pretty no-brainer option. And personally, I didn't really run double special because I didn't really need it. But it's very potent. And with this bug getting fixed, hopefully primary weapons will return back to being actually a valuable piece of a loadout. Granted, I still think things like speedruns and day one raids will likely still make use of double special because they're still good with damage. While this bug is getting fixed, I still think double special will definitely be very viable. But that's issue number one. Let me know down in the comments what you think of the double special bug getting patched. Personally, I just think it's kind of wild that this was a bug that wasn't spoken about for 2 years. So, I can understand why people are angry that this is getting fixed, but also, in the end, I think it's a pretty good thing. But to some, Bungie messed up. Now let's move on to the next Bungie blunder, being economy, inventory. Pretty much this little graph that Bungie showed off in their economy update blog post a little while ago. A lot of people were complaining about this. So before I get into the details of this graph, there's a little bit more information to be had. First up, Ascendant Shards, Ascendant Alloys, and Enhancement Prisms will no longer go to your Postmaster. Which to, I would honestly say, most players looking at these new numbers is a bonus. But let's get into the details. For an example, the Ascendant Shards, the golf balls, right now, in Season 21, before Season 22, and this update goes live, you can hold 10 in your inventory, which is shared across all classes. Then you can also hold 10 in your Postmaster. but also 10 in your other 2 classes postmasters, meaning total you could hold 40. With the update, we're actually having our inventory size decreased because we can only hold 30 total, because these are no longer going to our postmaster. So that means holding that stuff across all 3 classes inside of our postmaster, well, we can't do it. So the most we'll ever have at one point is 30. Kind of. Get to that in a second. But that's where people are complaining. I saw quite a bit of content creators saying stuff about people being happy that the cap was increased to 30 versus 10. Shouldn't be, because other people are having their cap decreased. Now let's get into why this actually isn't that big of a deal, despite the controversy around it. Outside of Ascendant alloys, which are used to craft enhanced perks, these other 2 materials can be stored to infinity, or at least for as long as you have vault space. And I'm sure most of you see where this is going, but it's about how you can masterwork some collections roll exotic for 3 golf balls and however many enhancement prisms, and then dismantle it and you get some of those back. Meaning, as long as you have an influx on golf balls and enhancement prisms, for example during a double loot Nightfall, you can really stock up on a lot of materials. And as you can see in my vault, I've got quite a few, and I haven't exhausted this storage in years. The only part of this argument that I would say is really worth actually taking up our torches and pitchforks for is the Ascendant alloy issue, where previously if you were at the upper echelon of storage and you wanted to hold 40 inside of your postmaster, now you can only hold 30, which, I'll be honest, it kind of sucks for however many people on this planet actually did have 40 Ascendant alloys in their inventory. But at least for those of you that do have the total capacity hit, when the update hits, your postmaster won't be cleared out, so you can at least have that as a little backup storage, and you can just use the ones in your inventory, stock that up, and exhaust them, and if you ever need some, you got your postmaster. So technically, if you had max capacity, you'd be able to hold 60 Ascendant alloys. But yeah, that's pretty much what the recent controversies have been. That's what I've seen across social media and stuff. Seen a lot of thumbnails and Twitter posts, or X posts. I don't even know what they are anymore. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments what you think about both these controversies. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you want to support me, a like, comment, subscription, super appreciated, as you know. Helps my videos get into the algorithm. But other than that, if you actually watch this far, you are super appreciated. Like, genuinely, more so than just YouTube. Knowing that you've watched all of this is really nice. Anyways, if you want to support me but you can't think of a comment down below. Bungie. With that, I hope you're having a great day, and I hope to see you around.